WWE is exhausting right now. Exhausting. More exhausting than it's probably ever been. And there are many reasons for it. And in this video, we're going to go through some of the reasons. But trust me, there are way more reasons than I'm going to go over in this video because I don't have 5 hours to talk about it. Starting off, we're going to talk about this. There's way too many PLEs. Way too many PLEs. We're building up to 3 PLEs right now. Bear in mind, we've just got through Night of Champions. Saturday night's main event, technically not a PLE, but it's an event that you build towards, so we'll count it. So before Night of Champions, they were building towards four events. Night of Champions, Evolution, Saturday night's main event, and SummerSlam. We should be only building up towards SummerSlam right now. Or if you want to throw Evolution in there, fine. Only Evolution. Why have we been building towards Night of Champions and Saturday night's main event and Evolution this entire past month or so? There's way too many PLEs. We get multiple a month. Multiple a month. Which means nothing gets time to breathe. There's no time to build anything fresh and new and exciting. That's why we get so many rematches and so many things are prolonged over multiple PLEs. Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, how many matches have they had on PLEs? Rhea Ripley, Io. There's so many where it's just rematch after rematch after rematch because they don't have time to build anything new. They don't have time to build a fresh new storyline to build towards, a match that we haven't seen before to build towards, because it's 2 weeks away from a PLE constantly. We're constantly maximum 4 weeks away from a PLE. We never have like a month and a half to build and really build a storyline and get us invested in these shows and build up to a PLE. It's always about 3 weeks to build up to a new one. Now we're going to get 2 on the same weekend. We should be building towards SummerSlam right now. Your second biggest show of the year. And we've still got 2 more events to get through before you can even build towards that. And even SummerSlam is going to be rematches. Because I don't know how many weeks exactly it is after Evolution and Saturday night's main event up until SummerSlam. But it's nowhere near long enough to build fresh, new, exciting storylines that a pay-per-view like SummerSlam deserves. So it's going to be rematch after rematch. Even your main events. Cody Cena, rematch. You know what I mean? It's rematch after rematch. And these in quotes, storylines, because they're not storylines, but these programs, these feuds, I genuinely, well, first of all, I can't think of any that are interesting, but the ones that they do have are ones that we've already seen. I mean, Goldberg, Gunther, I guess is new, right? It is new, but Goldberg doesn't show up. So it's like everything, even LA Knight, Seth Rollins. Those are his two Saturday night's main event matches announced so far are Goldberg, Gunther, Seth, LA Knight. LA Knight and Seth is kind of fresh, but LA Knight is just shoved into another thing with a faction. He was in the Bloodline vortex for months, and now he's in just this Seth faction vortex where everything he does revolves around this group. It's not fun. It's not exciting. Put LA Knight into a fun storyline with someone that he can actually win. Because LA Knight isn't going to come out on top of this feud. Nothing is fresh. Nothing at all is fresh in WWE now. It feels like ages since we had something fresh and exciting and new, and even Punk Gunther, which they kind of planted a little seed for on Raw. Are we even going to see that at SummerSlam? Probably not, because we're going to get Seth, because Roman's having a match. It doesn't make sense for Roman to come back and not have a match with Seth, right? After what happened at WrestleMania, which is when we last saw Roman, he wouldn't come back and go into something with someone else. It doesn't make sense. So he's going to come back into something with Seth, which probably drags Punk into it. So we're probably going to get some weird tag team match. The same 3 people that have been involved in shit for months. Punk and Seth involved in something for months. Roman comes back just to do something with Seth again. And Punk again. Like, there's nothing fresh. Rhea Ripley, Io Sky. I went over it in my Raw review. Io Sky has faced 2 people as champion. 2 people. She's had 2 title defenses. Going into her third one. She's going into her third title defense, and all 3 were against Rhea Ripley. You can throw Bianca Belair in there at WrestleMania, but it was still against Rhea Ripley. She had 3 title defenses. All against Rhea. Because they don't build anyone new. It's not new, it's not fresh. It's just the same thing we've been seeing. Tiffany Nia Jax. How long have we been seeing that? And then you go into this jobber problem that they have, where you've got Penta and Sami Zayn going out in the main event at Night of Champions in a CM Punk John Cena match. Penta, Sami Zayn. Every week it's main events between Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Sami Zayn, Penta. Every week it's the same people involved in the main event. So like, these are not main eventers. Yet they're main eventing every week. But they're not. You don't build them as main eventers. You don't build them as the top guys in the company. But yet they're main eventing Raws every single week. Do you look at Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, Penta, Sami Zayn and go, main eventers, top stars in the company? No. So why are they in the main event? You know what I mean? And we're doing this whole Sami Zayn thing where they're probably going to build up to him getting a title. Does anyone really give a shit anymore about Sami Zayn? I like Sami Zayn. I do really like Sami Zayn. But his character, just being booked as this kind of moral high ground character, and what you're doing is the wrong thing, and what I suggest is the right thing, and this isn't you. You need to do this. And just being everyone's friend. Being Jey Uso's friend. Being Penta's friend. That's what his character is. Yet we're supposed to believe and get behind a Sami Zayn title win. It's the Rocky story. Yeah, the difference between Rocky and Sami Zayn is people cared about Rocky. If you still care about Sami Zayn and want him to see a title, that's fair enough. You're a fan of Sami Zayn, you want to see him get a title. That's fair. That is very fair. But if we're going to do it properly. It's just... It's exhausting to get behind. And when the Jey Uso whole thing, it's exhausting every week. Having Jey Uso come out and do the exact same thing every single week. Whether he's champion or not. All he does is go out there and yeet for a few minutes, say 5 words maximum, 3 of them are, It's not even... It's exhausting. Did it for months. Even as champion. He didn't get any more interesting or dominant or exciting or interesting or captivating as champion. If anything, he got worse. What we're going to do with Sami Zayn? If you like Sami Zayn, which I do as well, fair enough. It would be wholesome to see him as champion. Okay, fine. It would be wholesome to see him get that title. But what do we do with him as champion? Would it be a fun, exciting title reign? No, because there's no good title reigns in WWE right now. New Day has just ended. What the fuck? What was that title reign? That was beyond awful. John Cena's 95% has been awful. Who else is champion? Solo Sikoa's just got that. Jacob's title reign. Was that really exciting and really fun? No. It's exhausting. And then Seth Rollins cutting the same promo every single week. It's exhausting, man. Every show is the same formula. The same things happen every week. Seth Rollins goes out there, cuts a promo about the same fucking thing every single week. Jey Uso goes out there and yeets for 5 minutes every single week. Rhea Ripley goes out and declares a title match every single week. It's exhausting. Every show starts the same. Every show starts with panning around the city that they're in, showing a few buildings, then people walking into the arena. Then we go straight to a promo. No pyro. Every show is the exact same formula. People walking into the arena. Promo, match, match, promo, match, match, promo, match. Every single show. We have to get through 3 hours of a SmackDown. Thank God it's going back to 2 hours. Thank the Lord it's going back to 2. But for months, we've had to deal with 3 hours of SmackDown, 2.5 hours of Raw. That's 5.5 hours a week. And that's weeks that aren't PLEs. Every single show is the same. You're watching the same exact show every single week. 3 hours of it, or 2.5 hours of it. Every week, the same formula, the same things happening every single week. Nothing fresh, nothing new. If it was any other TV show, which they love to claim, right? Oh, we're not a professional wrestling company anymore. We're a storytelling company. We're a storytelling business. We're a storytelling show. Okay. So you see yourself as more of a TV show. All right. Do you watch any TV show that's successful where they do the same thing every week? Same thing every week. You sit down to watch a 3-hour show and it's the same exact thing as you saw last week. That isn't going to be a success. No one's going to watch that. That's not entertaining. It's horrendous. Now we're doing this whole bloodline shit again. Does anyone care? Does anyone care that Hikaleo, or whatever they're calling him, Tamatonga, and Tongaloa? Every week it's going to be the same shit. They're going to beat up Jacob Fatu and they're going to do this and then they're going to beat someone else up. We've done this for months. It hasn't worked. No one cares. You can't put someone called JC Mateo with them and expect people to suddenly care about them or him. Same with Hikaleo. We've done this for months and it's continuing. They've added someone else and then they're going to add someone else new. Oh my God, we've got to sit through this again. It's so exhausting. There's nothing new. And there's so many PLEs to build towards. So many rematches. There should be 6 PLEs a year. 6. One every 2 months. If you want to throw Saturday night's main event on the month that there isn't a PLE, fine. So you still get something a month. But actual PLEs, one every 2 months is perfect. You've got 2 months to build to something fresh, something new, something exciting, something we haven't seen before, something that you can really dig your teeth into and get invested in it. Because you've got 2 months to build up towards it. Instead of having to build towards multiple events a month, so you just have to have rematch after rematch after rematch because you haven't got time to build anything new. It's exhausting. It's exhausting to get through any of these shows. 3 hours of a SmackDown, 2.5 hours of Raw is exhausting. It's a chore to get through. It's an absolute chore to get through. And then you decide, all right, I'm just going to watch it. Maybe this week there'll be something interesting. And then you sit down to watch it and you realise this is the exact same thing I saw last week or the week before. Rhea Ripley coming out and being the only female on that roster that they decided to put effort into. JD from New York on Twitter talking about, or his YouTube stream, whatever, talking about, oh, there's no one else realistic to face EO. So why are people complaining? There's no one for EO to face other than Rhea. That's the entire problem. That is the entire issue here. That is the entire issue. They haven't built anyone realistic to face EO. So we have to just watch Rhea again. EO's entire title reign has revolved around Rhea. Her entire reign. They don't put effort into building anyone else. So of course Rhea's the only person she can face. Of course she is. Because they don't put effort into anyone else. They don't build anyone else up. You can put Rhea into something else that isn't for the title. You can still put her in a huge match at Evolution involved in a huge storyline. One of the biggest parts of the show, because she does get one of the biggest reactions every week. Fine, put her into something big. But it doesn't have to revolve around the title every single time EO defends it. WWE is exhausting. It's tiring to get through a show, and it's tiring and exhausting to try and follow along with what they're doing, because it's the same thing you've seen for months, for most of what you see. Anyway, rest in peace to Diogo Jota. If you're American, you might not know, but a football player in England that played for the club that I love. So rest in peace to him. Thoughts with his family, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think, and enjoy the rest of your day.